members of staff, parents, carers and students of Year 12 2026. My name is Troy Nusky and I am Acting Head of Year 12 for Term 4. On behalf of the college, I'd like to welcome you to our HSC Information session as we formally welcome your sons to their HSC year. This is an important chance for us to focus on the last 10 months of your sons' learning, the tremendous opportunities they will be presented with and key expectations along the way. During this evening, Mr. Brennan will deliver his principal's address. Ms. Morrison will set the context for the HSC. Then Mr. Bombardieri, Mr. Bullock and I will consider the academic and pastoral dimensions of your son's final year of school. Before we begin, I will go through some housekeeping. The Academic Care Handbooks. Various speakers will refer to the Academic Handbook. This document has been printed for your son and is available on the central portal. The NESA HSC Rules and Procedures. Your son has received a printed version of this document and it is also available in their NESA Students Online account. Please remember to register your attendance by using the QR code that appears later. If you do have any questions, please ask them at the same place as you register your attendance and we'll get back to you. We now pause to acknowledge country and pray.
Yamanya, Murray Gomery, Jacoby Fernando. As the St. Greg's community and Amara's family, we pay our respects to the traditional custodians of this sacred land, the Darawa people. We acknowledge elders, both past and present, and the emerging leaders of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples of Australia.
In recent weeks, we were able to begin our HSC year by participating in Year 12 retreat. This was an opportunity to stop, reflect, and challenge ourselves as we begin a very important time in our lives. We come together to pray for the year ahead. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, Amen. May the Lord bless us in our questions, our personal gifts, and our vision, as we follow in the way of Jesus Christ. We pray for guidance and courage as we make decisions which will determine our future. May the Lord bless us in our leadership of St. Gregory's College as we aspire to lead and to make Jesus Christ known and loved in our community. St. Martin and St. Gregory,
pray for us.
Mary, our good mother,
Pray for us.
and let us always remember
To pray for one another.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Well, good evening, members of the Year 12 graduating class of 2026 and your families. Thank you very much for being part of this live stream or this video broadcast today, looking at the journey of your son as he heads now into his final or penultimate year this term and his final year of schooling next year. First of all, from the outset, I'd like to thank Mr. Bombardieri and the academic care team for their work in ensuring that the boys have got themselves in the right courses and the right pattern of study to have a successful HSC. As I mentioned many times, success is measured in many, many different ways, and it's great to see a number of our boys looking at a vet pathway or a non-ATAR pathway, and then those boys obviously looking at potentially further study at university. Your teachers are here to make sure that you continue to strive to do your best, and it's something that I know that you would all be very comfortable and confident, particularly after having the reflection of the Year 12 retreat last week. As Jacoby said in his opening address to you, the energy has to start now. As a Year 12 student, what you've done in the past counts for very little or nothing as far as your end game at the end of next year. Certainly you've developed skills and other things along the way, but now the assessments are real, and this is we're playing for fair income stakes now. So please make sure that you use the resources that the teachers provide, that you do the work that you have to do. The other thing I would ensure that you make sure that you consider is just making sure you have a balance in your life. There has to be time that is downtime. There has to be time that is very busy with plenty of study and plenty of schoolwork, but you want to really make sure you balance that with a special year. As you're very much aware, next year is our 100th year, and I am so excited that this group of young men will be the leaders of our school. I've seen incredible growth since my return, since these boys were in Year 9 when I arrived in 2022, and to see them graduate next year and just to see the fine young men that they've become is very inspirational and something that I'm very, very proud to be a part of. So my final message to the graduating class is, as has been said before, don't wait till September next year to be your best at graduation. It starts now, and as I said to a couple of weeks ago, I said to Year 11, this is the year they build their cathedral. And it's important that the little moments that they get to be better, they look to do it. And also in this notion of servant leadership, please ensure that when you can, you put the needs of others before yourself. Help out a mate who needs it. Spend some time with a junior student who may be a bit out of sorts. Really work hard to make a stamp on 2026 in our centenary year, because you are going to be the only graduating class for St Greg's in our 100 years, for 100 years. So I do wish you all the very best. Again, I'm very grateful for the work of Mr Bombardieri and all of the homeroom team, obviously led by Mr Goodhue and currently Mr Nusk, and to Mr Bullock and the academic care team for all that they're doing to make sure that we provide an environment where your boy can be, your son can be the best version of himself and get success however that looks for him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr Brennan. Good evening, parents and our graduating HSC class for 2026. It doesn't seem that long ago that we spoke in a similar context to provide guidance and support for subject selection and the processes needed to commence your Stage 6 educational journey. Tonight, the focus has changed. This is it. You have completed Year 11 and have now begun your final stage of your journey. So now we focus on what these last few months will be like and what you need to do to be successful. Tonight, the focus has changed. This is it. You have completed Year 11 and have now begun your final stage of your journey. So now, I often refer to Stage 6 as being non-compulsory education. You have made a conscious choice to be here and to continue your final stages of education at St Greg's. I love this quote from Brian Herbert. The capacity to learn is a gift. The ability to learn is a skill, but the willingness to learn is a choice. You have all made that choice now. You would have heard many of us speak about the St Greg's Agile graduate, and perhaps wondering why we keep referring to this term. Agile. We know that agility refers to the capacity to respond to change and challenges with action, vigour, flexibility, and optimism. The agile learner doesn't just bounce back to where he or she began. Rather, they continue moving forward, seeking and seeing a new ways of being and responding to the needs of others. Agile graduates will possess the skills and attributes needed for success in Year 12. At St Greg's, we recognise that successful learners are relational, resilient, resourceful, reflective, and responsible. Relational relates to the relationships you have with others. To be successful in Year 12, you will need to collaborate with others, ask for help, value and respect the opinions of others, work in a team, be an active listener, and give and accept feedback in a positive manner. Success is not a given. It is obtained through hard work and commitment. To be successful, you need to be resilient. You need to keep trying your best even when things seem hard. You need to ask for help. You need to set smart goals, value the process of learning rather than focusing on the outcome, and exercise self-control even when you may be feeling frustrated. It is important that you are an active learner in your education. This means that you seek out information, look for opportunities and alternatives, know what you can already do, and look for opportunities to solve new problems. You need to ask questions, try new things, seek feedback, and above all, show initiative. To improve, you must be aware of your current self. You need to use feedback, set smart goals, make plans for improvement, know your own strengths and weaknesses, and know what is required to achieve success. You are now in Year 12. You are the leaders of the college. You are setting the example for junior students and modelling what is expected. So you need to show up and you need to be ready to learn. You need to be an active learner. You need to find your why. You need to take responsibility for your own success. Success is never accidental. Success is a product of hard work, commitment, and dedication to your goals. Every one of you will have a different success story. You need to make sure that you are proud of yours. I will leave you with another favourite quote of mine. Education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those that prepare for it today. So make every day count. Thank you again for joining us here tonight. I'll now pass over to Mr. Bombardieri, our Director of Studies, who will continue with our presentation.
Thank you, Mrs. Morrison, and good evening, parents, carers and students. Welcome again to our final Academic Information Evening. In a sense, many of the conversations we've had during all the information evenings over the last years have pointed to the last 12 months of the HSC. This evening, I will speak about 4 key areas. HSC responsibilities, your focus in the HSC, the future and life after St. Greg's, and the importance of family. Let's begin with key HSC responsibilities. As we focus tonight on the specifics of the Year 12 journey, I want to take a moment to cast our minds back to the information evening at the start of this year. The foundations we laid out then are now more crucial than ever. I want to briefly recap those key messages tonight, as these are the expectations that will carry you through to the HSC. Both Mrs. Morrison and I have spoken about the importance of taking responsibility. This year brings with it a step up. Our basic expectations remain the same though, that you make your best effort and that you follow HSC requirements. These requirements are outlined in your HSC academic handbook. We have an expectation that you will fully aware of the content of this academic handbook. This includes handing assessments in on time, following exam rules, and knowing the illness misadventure procedures. This is all linked to your HSC eligibility. To get an HSC, you must study at least 10 units, including at least 6 units of board-developed courses. You must satisfactorily complete these courses, which means diligent effort in all classwork and not just assignments. You must also make a serious attempt at all exams. Now, let's talk about assessment tasks. I said this at the beginning of the year and I'll say it again. Whether you are planning on university or a job after school, your results matter. You want to be able to look back and know you gave this year your best. To make this happen, it is important to understand how assessments work. Remember the split. For most courses, 50% of your final HSC mark comes from your school-based assessments. These tasks are what give you your final rank that we send to NESA. They are crucial. For those of you doing courses with a major work, like visual arts or industrial technology, the expectation is constant progress. You must check in regularly with your teacher, who ultimately has to vouch that the work is yours. Our teachers will spend long hours supporting you, but being proactive and taking responsibility for your own work is always the best approach. If you fall behind, you can expect end determination warning letters to follow. And remember, there should be no surprises. The assessment schedules and a full calendar are in your academic handbook. We've listed every single task. The key, as I said earlier this year, is to prepare during lighter times so that you are ready for the busy times. Don't let assessments creep up on you. Map out your tasks in your diary or on a digital planner. Use a wall calendar or a whiteboard in your study space. Parents and carers, your role here is also important. Similar to the planning that happens in boarding, you can help by having a copy of the assessment calendar and by checking in with your son regularly. But what if things go wrong during an assessment task? Our illness misadventure process is for when you are genuinely unwell or experience something like a car accident or a family tragedy. The process is simple. For an illness, get a medical certificate. For a misadventure, get independent evidence. Complete a student assessment form. Submit it either to me via email or at student services no later than 8:05 a.m. on the first morning of your return to school. I'll forward to all the key people a response so we're all on the same page. One part of our assessment policy is different from Year 11. If your son is absent the day before an assessment or is late to school on the day of a task, he will need a medical certificate to justify that absence. Many schools use this policy in Year 12 to make sure students don't seek unfair advantage by taking time off before big tasks to work on them. If you're unwell the day before a task, visit a doctor. If you're still unwell on the assessment task day, you can use that same certificate for your official illness misadventure form. Next, let's refresh our understanding of malpractice. NESA has very strict rules that each school must follow. Malpractice is any attempt to gain an unfair advantage. This includes plagiarism, collusion, misrepresentation, or breach of exam rules. And let's be perfectly clear. With new technology, the unauthorized use of artificial intelligence to generate any part of your assessment task is considered as malpractice. Students have all completed the NESA All My Own Work program. The rules are that if malpractice is suspected, there is a clear investigation process outlined in the academic handbook. In Year 12, the consequences are significant. A 0 for an HSC assessment task, and the college is obliged to place you on the NESA malpractice register. It's simply not worth the risk. This then ties into the end determination process. An N award warning letter is our way of letting you know that a course is not being satisfactorily completed. This isn't just for non-submission of assessment tasks, it's for any time a student has not shown diligence and sustained effort. An end determination is not a punishment. It is a chance to fix the problem. The letter will tell you exactly what went wrong and exactly what needs to be done, and also give you a new deadline. If your son receives one, his teacher will contact you. This is the ideal time for you, your son, and the teacher to work together. We want to avoid the final step of an end determination, where the course doesn't count towards the HSC. This process is our safety net to stop that from happening. Now, at this point, I also need to flag another important document, the NESA HSC Rules and Procedures booklet. Your son received this a few weeks ago. It is not just another handout. This booklet contains all the critical information about the final HSC exams and about their courses, and we expect students have read it. Let's now talk about HSC courses. During week 3, most students adjusted their courses for their HSC, finalising their HSC subject loads. Students have now moved to study periods based on these changes. For students who have not yet moved from a 12 or 13 unit timetable to a 10 or 11 unit timetable, you will have another chance to do this at the start of next year. Over the coming weeks, your son will receive his HSC course confirmation. This is a formal NESA document, and he will need to complete it during homeroom to confirm his final pattern of study for the HSC. Anytime your son changes his courses, he will need to complete another confirmation. Looking ahead, the HSC exam timetable is usually published by NESA early in Term 2. Students will get their personalised timetable directly from their NESA Students Online account. Their trial exam timetable is usually published by the school at around about the same time. This brings me to a critical housekeeping point. It is important that your son has logged into his Students Online account. This account has the courses that they are officially registered for in the HSC. As I mentioned before, it has the HSC timetable personalised for them. This portal contains each student's official NESA e-record. It already holds students' Year 10 and Year 11 grades and minimum standard results, which TAFE and employers often asked for. At the end of this year, this is where students will go to access their final HSC results and their certificates. If your son receives inclusive education assistance during assessments, they may also be eligible for HSC exam provisions. If Mrs. Grant and the inclusive team, our education team, have not been in contact by the end of the term, it would be a good idea to contact them directly to discuss the application process. While your responsibilities in the HSC are similar to this year, the stakes are much higher. If you are unclear about anything in the handbook or explained tonight, please speak to your homeroom teacher, Mr. Bullock, or myself at any time. Let's now explore the importance of your focus. Success so often comes down to what you choose to focus on. And this is absolutely true of the HSC. How you focus on the little things, the individual tasks, your preparation in class, your study habits, will determine your ultimate success. Each time you succeed in something small, you are building a habit. That habit will not only get you through the HSC, but it will serve you for the rest of your life. But to focus on those little things, you first need a clear, bigger picture. What do you want to be doing in 2027? When we were all choosing courses back in Year 10, we discussed two main ways to approach the HSC. Depending on which path you choose, your focus will be slightly different. So what's your focus if you're on the ATAR pathway, using the HSC as a stepping stone to university? Essentially, your focus is to maximize your ATAR and build the skills you'll need for your degree. Your first focus is mastery. You need to develop mastery in each course. Every single task is about mastering the skills outlined in the marking criteria. Achieving the best ATAR is about achieving your highest rank that you can. This means that you need to develop a deep interest in what you're studying, use every activity, class discussions, homework, assessments as a building block. Find a sense of balance. This means balancing your study across all of your courses. It's great to have a passion subject, but there's no use acing one or two courses if you let the others slide. It also means finding a school-work-life balance. And let's be realistic. Year 12, this balance will need to shift. You may need to do fewer shifts at work, be involved in fewer co-curricular activities, or go out less with your friends so that you can spend the time you need to develop mastery. If you get into the course you're aiming for, the sacrifice will have been worth it. Finally, your focus must be consistent. There is no use slackening off just because a course doesn't require an ATAR or because you get an early entry offer. Achieving the highest ATAR you can is what gives you choices at the end of this journey. It also means you can be proud of your achievements because you know you gave it your best. Now, if you're using your HSC as a stepping stone to TAFE or work, your focus is slightly different. For students on a non-ATAR pattern, your focus must be on developing workplace skills in every single one of your courses, and yes, this includes English studies. It means completing your work placement and impressing the boss, which many of you are doing this week. Your focus is on completing all your competencies as soon as you can. If you don't achieve your competencies, you don't get your TAFE credential. It's that simple. The upside of these courses is that once you finish the course, that's it. There's no big exam. However, if you have chosen to do one or two ATAR subjects as well, your focus must be on those subjects and the exams that come with them. The real focus for VET students is to develop practical skills that will make you more employable. This means building your connections and finding mentors who can help you to find your way when you leave school. Whichever focus you have, we advise that you know your why. Have a clear picture of what you want to achieve by this time next year. Get the little things right and the big things will follow. Start early on homework and assessments. Work hard and make the most of your time here. Don't just turn up for this last year, put everything into it. There will be tough times. There will be challenging assessments. Keep the end in mind, keep things in perspective, and work as a Year 12 team. Remember the saying, all boats float on a rising tide. If you want to go far, go together. Let's take a snapshot of your HSC year and some of the key academic moments in it. This term, we have already completed HSC All My Own Work. Many of you have moved to your final HSC courses. Year 11 awards have been and gone. You have completed Year 12 retreat and leadership workshops. At present, some of you are completing your final VET work placements. Next term will involve half-yearly reports, parent-teacher interviews, university open days, assessments, and competencies. Term 2 will begin with exam timetables for trials and HSC. There will be academic awards and the lion's share of assessment tasks. In Term 3, we will begin with the trials and university early entries. Once you are back from the trials, there will be a few weeks with feedback and finishing courses. Then you will say goodbye to the school during your graduation. In Term 4, you will complete your HSC exams, and in mid-December, you will receive your results as well as university placements. That, my friends, is the HSC year. Beyond this snapshot, though, contemplating life beyond St. Greg's can be a challenging prospect. Sometimes it's hard to see past the next assessment, let alone the next year, and it is an essential step in the process. Having that goal on the horizon is what will pull you through the tough days. Planning for the future will also help you to prepare for the changes that are coming. Your plans will help you to imagine and to look forward to life after school. And as Ms. Morrison has suggested, it is an important part of becoming an agile graduate. So, how do you go about creating a plan for life beyond the college gates? How do you answer the question, what should I do? As well as investing time in study, it is important to research and plan for life after St. Greg's. Some students have a clear picture of what they want to do from a young age. They may want to be an engineer or a policeman or a farm manager. Their research takes the form of determining a path that will get them there. Other students, and this is the majority, don't have a clear picture of their career. For these students, it is essential to explore general fields of interest as well as different career possibilities. They should explore everything, no matter how out of the box it might be, and they shouldn't write anything off as boring or too hard or not worthwhile. The truth is that the career market is changing so rapidly that students might find themselves in careers that may not even exist yet. Moreover, half of all teenagers aspire to only 1% of all careers available. So in addition to staying flexible or agile, it is important that students put some time into researching this rapidly changing world of career options each week. The college has a range of excellent resources to assist with this research. Firstly, our Acting Head of Department, Careers and Transition, Mr. Profilio, is an excellent resource that students should be using. I'd advise booking a time with him to discuss career options. He'll give you some homework before the meeting so that you come with plenty of ideas, and he will leave you with further avenues to follow up on. Mr. Profilio can also provide you with University Admissions Centre guides, TAFE entry books, career bullseyes and ladders, quizzes, and pathway explorers. He is in touch with a range of old boys and has connections to a range of industries. He can guide you towards preparing job applications, traineeships, Year 13 gap year experiences, TAFE, and university and scholarship applications. The college also offers a range of important career opportunities. Visit the St Gregory's College Careers website. This year, we have hosted lunchtime visits from all major universities, TAFE, and a range of employment groups. We also organise visits to university open days. The college hosts one of the largest careers expos in the Macarthur, and we do a range of things each year to make sure that students are feeling comfortable with moving into their future. There are some excellent website resources we subscribe to. The Beyond Careers website provides a range of life resources and activities to develop your career thinking. The Job Jump website is also an excellent resource to help you think about what different careers might be like and what you will need to do to move in that direction. The Job Jump website is also an excellent resource to help you think about what different careers might be like and what you will need to do to move in that direction. The Job Jump website is also an excellent resource to help you. The My Future website allows students to explore industry information, search for specific occupations, find out about university and TAFE courses across Australia, and match your personal profile to specific careers. Students can complete micro-credentials providing skills in everything from podcasting to marine mechanics to gaining an RSA or RCG or barista certificate to gaining a drone license. The school offers immersions and work experience with a range of employers. With all these opportunities on offer, students are encouraged to research and experience a range of career activities to help them find their way beyond St Greg's. You are encouraged to explore the hard questions. Beyond just going to university next year, exactly what course will you do and where? Do they offer scholarships? What marks do you need to get in? More than just getting a job after Year 12, explore exactly which industry you are interested in. Are there traineeships or apprenticeships that take you further and pay you to learn? Are there jobs or employers out there that you've never heard of before, or that might give you a start that you're looking for? Are there TAFE courses you'd like to do? Are there other options? Would you maybe like to engage in Year 13 activities like Camp USA or becoming a jackaroo in Outback Australia? Would you like to take a gap year? Finally, that brings me to family. Completing an HSC is something that the whole family is involved in. Parents and carers, your help will be vital as accidental careers advisors. Your experience will be vital in helping with work-related skills like resume writing and researching. Your knowledge of different career journeys will provide your son with concrete examples of what to do and perhaps what not to do. Your encouragement and emotional support are essential. Creating that space for career conversation, normalizing uncertainty, supporting exploration, and celebrating career decision making are all valuable experiences. Your guidance during the year will also be important. Your son will need help from time to time regulating their workload, for example. Sometimes when their wheels are spinning and they can't concentrate because they have been at it for too long, you can be that circuit breaker who helps them to step away and gain some perspective. At other times, when they are struggling with all the distractions of our modern world, you'll be that voice of reason, helping them to put away the Xbox, to give TV or social media a break, and to get back into study. You'll be the one to tell them to ease back on their work shifts so that they can prepare for their exams. When time management isn't going so well, it might be those task dates on the family calendar that might help. It might be that quiet guidance in planning that assists, or it might just be that empathetic ear that allows them to talk it all through. During those times of high stress, it will be you who will pick up on the fact that procrastination and emotional outbursts are often stress signs. It will be your positive, practical suggestions and your sense of humour that will lower the stress levels. When all else fails, food and family can be a great remedy. When they're being too hard on themselves, or it seems like they aren't being hard enough, or they feel like they have the weight of the world on their shoulders, it will be your non-judgmental guidance that will provide the balance and the touchstone to the bigger picture. And when in doubt, always know that you can reach out to the staff at school. This is when the partnership between home and school is most important. Students, finally, never forget your school family. The HSC is about working with your friends, networking, and helping each other through. Your teachers will be there, so lean on them when you need help. Tonight, we have considered what you will need to do from a studies perspective to prepare for your HSC. We've considered HSC responsibilities, your focus, your future, and your family. On behalf of the Year 12 teaching team, I wish you all the very best, and I look forward to working with you to make this final year a success. At this point, I'd like to welcome Mr. Bullock, our Stage 6 academic care leader, who will speak about important academic care considerations in preparing for your Year 12.
Good evening, Year 12, parents and carers. I've had the pleasure of working with your sons throughout their Year 11 journey and look forward to assisting them to achieve their academic potential throughout the final year of their secondary education. Our goal is to ensure that each student experiences some degree of academic success in the HSC. Tonight, I'd like to unpack some of those strategies that will help them to be successful. To that end, we will look at some of the areas in which academic care will assist your son. We will also look at some of the specific strategies that each student can employ during the HSC. And we will spend time unpacking how students can use the ATAR as a vehicle to gain a successful entry into university. First, let's consider our academic care program. Over the next 3.5 terms of Year 12, there are several presentations that your son will be involved with, including Surviving the HSC, a Q&A with our past high achievers, Elevate study skills, Academic expectations of senior school, Developing a growth mindset. They will be reflective through report evaluations and growth conversations, Maintaining motivation, perhaps the most difficult challenge in Year 12, Preparing for trials, and maximising marks in exams will be revisited. More than this, part of my role involves having academic care conversations with your sons, at times where they may need assistance with skills such as time management or more specific study skills, through goal setting, having discussions around reports and course progress, or students who may be struggling with workloads. I can also assist those needing help understanding the ATAR and scaling as the time gets closer to the final HSC exams. My role is a broad one, and students can contact me with any academic needs throughout the next 12 months. I would also encourage parents and carers to get in touch should they wish to. The next 12 months will move very quickly, and it will be easy to be left behind in the workload if you are not prepared for each class. As Year 12 students, the expectation is that you will be involved and engaged fully into class discussions, avoid distractions in the classroom, and perhaps the most important tip is to continuously seek feedback from your teachers. The more this feedback is taken on board, the more improvement you will see in your learning. One success strategy from our past high achievers is to have something ready for your teacher for each lesson. something our past Duck students have adopted in their Year 12 journeys. Famous motivator Tony Robbins said setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. The academic care program places a great deal of importance on this process, and students will be setting clear, specific, and measurable goals which will be revisited at important periods throughout the next 12 months. These may relate to specific marks or ranks in courses, ATAR targets, or university courses. Students will outline and develop strategies to put in place as they work towards these over their Year 12 journey. Time management is critical for HSC success. Students will be creating a weekly planner in an academic care session shortly, which should be used and evaluated throughout the next term. Important dates for assessment tasks should be written into calendars and diaries, and making an early start on these improves the chances of success. There are a variety of study trackers available online, but each student should find what works best for them. I am available to assist your sons with these. It will be important to keep track of your progress in each course. Your assessment results will determine the rankings in each course, and these are critical when the final HSC examinations arrive, as they will determine your moderated assessment mark worth 50% of your HSC. Each result should be evaluated and feedback taken on board to ensure improvements can be made moving forward. Students who listen to this feedback and not simply look at the mark or grade of a task will be best served in their next assessments. Home preparation is the key to success in the HSC. Homework expectations will be discussed on the next slide, but it is vital that students form good habits early and ensure homework is completed each day. Some subjects will provide more than others, but parents and guardians, you should not hear from your sons that they have no homework to do over the next year. As alluded to earlier, assessments are critical in the Year 12 journey. These determine your final rank in each course, and at times throughout the year, you will find that there are multiple tasks due in the same week, which means your preparation for these at home needs to be efficient. Make early starts to these where possible, and set aside time for homework to ensure you stay on top of them. Assessments completed and submitted at the last minute are missed opportunities to increase your marks and ranks. Study skills and note making will be discussed in our academic care sessions and with Elevate Learning. But the more reading and revision you can do, the more informed you will become. I like to tie this back to the school motto, what you sow, so shall you reap. Of course, the next 12 months is not only going to involve schoolwork, but it is also important that you maintain a balanced lifestyle. This means different things for different people, but if you are struggling with this balance, please seek out myself, your year coordinator, your school counsellors, and your parents who can assist you here. There are many people in your support corner for this important year. A guide for how long you should be spending each night on each subject is 20 to 30 minutes of homework and study time, which can result in anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, depending on your academic load. It is also important to dedicate some time during weekends towards this. Parents and guardians, we would ask for your support at home to encourage your son to develop good study habits and stick to weekly planners. For assistance with this, please feel free to contact me. For our ATAR students who are choosing to continue into the HSC year at St Greg's, you are agreeing to investing time in your study. This means prioritising your study over work and going out. It means spending at least 14 hours a week studying, completing homework, and working on assessments. The more you invest over the long term, the more you will get out of your HSC year. You need to develop mastery in all you do. You are agreeing to study and hone your skills in each subject to demonstrate mastery. The HSC is about more than turning up and doing the minimum to get through. It is about making notes and discussing in class and putting in your best effort in every assessment. Focus on skills and knowledge. In each course, skills are just important as understanding. You will need to spend time making notes for each subject, but you will also need to practice HSC-style questions and build key skills such as extended writing. Be career-minded. Courses in Year 12 require you to think as if you're in the related industry. If you're studying history, you're thinking like a historian. Physics requires you to think like a scientist. You'll need to demonstrate the critical abilities of people in the industry to succeed in your courses. Reflect honestly on your learning. It is an expectation that you are planning, setting goals, and evaluating honestly based on feedback so that you can improve a little bit through each task. By choosing to continue into the HSC year at St Greg's, you are agreeing to complete all classwork and competencies. These are important to prepare you for the challenges of your future career. The flip side is that you are at risk of being undetermined if classwork is not done, and you will not receive your VET certificate if you don't achieve your competencies. You need to develop work skills and connections. You are agreeing to develop specific work skills in each of your courses. It is also an expectation that you are making positive connections with your teachers and with people in the industry. You must balance work and classwork. Classwork is important, but you will also need to be gaining work experience outside school hours to prepare you. And attendance and respect matter. It is expected that your attendance at school and TAFE is exemplary, and that you show respect for classmates, teachers, and workplace providers. The ATAR is a score between 0 and 99.95 that indicates a student's position relative to all other students in their age, not a percentage score. Universities use the ATAR to help select students for courses, often using it in combination with other criteria like interviews or portfolios. The ATAR is important because it's a nationwide ranking that universities use to compare Year 12 students for admission into courses, acting as a primary selection tool for many degrees. It provides a standardized way to measure a student's overall achievement relative to their peers and can also be a predictor of success in universities, particularly in their first year. Common misconceptions about the ATAR include that a high ATAR guarantees career success, or that certain subject combinations will automatically result in a better ATAR, and that a low ATAR prevents entry into university. It is important to outline that scaling does not guarantee a higher ATAR, and a high ATAR does not equal intelligence or creativity. There is a short video on the following slide which will give a brief outline of what it is and how it is calculated.
What is the ATAR? The Australian Tertiary Admissions Rank, or ATAR, is a number between 0 and 99.95 that tells you where you rank in your year group. It's based on overall academic performance and is designed to be a predictor of your first-year performance at uni. Your ATAR is your percentile position out of all students who started Year 7 with you. So an ATAR of 70 doesn't mean you got 70%. It means that you're in the top 30% of your year group. How is your ATAR calculated? The Board of Studies gives the University Admission Centre, or UAC, all the raw unbanded HSC marks. But comparing across courses is like comparing apples and oranges. We want to compare apples with apples. To help work out how one student compares to another, UAC starts by giving all courses the same average mark and the same spread of marks, which shows us how far marks are scattered on either side of the average. Then the serious scaling begins. UAC scales according to the performance of all the students that year, not whether we think courses are hard or easy. No subject will guarantee you a high ATAR, and no subject will condemn you to a low ATAR. The poorer the overall performance of the cohort taking a course, the closer to the top of the state you need to be in order to benefit from scaling. There's no way to game the ATAR system. Your time is much better spent studying for your exam. After scaling, we take your 2 best units of English and 8 best other units to give you a mark out of 500. Then we rank the whole year according to their mark out of 500. Your ATAR is your rank as a percentage of your cohort. How is the ATAR used? Each university sets a minimum ATAR for each course, and the cutoff is the score of the person with the lowest ATAR admitted to the course that year. The system automatically works down your list of preferences and makes you an offer for the highest preference that you qualify for. You will get an offer ahead of someone with a lower ATAR who put the same choice higher on their UAC form. So make sure you put what you really want to do as your first preference. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Students wishing to maximise their ATAR can do so with diligent study and giving their best efforts in assessment tasks. The final rankings in each course will have an impact on the ATAR that can be achieved, so it is important to keep focused and maintain motivation throughout the entirety of your courses. As outlined, the ATAR is a score that indicates your position in the state after HSC examinations occur in 12 months' time. The difference between your assessment marks and the ATAR is that the assessment marks are a score or percentage out of 100 that indicates your level of achievement against the criteria and standards of the task. The higher the assessment mark, the likely higher your rank will be, and in turn, the higher your potential ATAR may be. On results day in December 2026, students will receive 3 marks in each course. One will be their performance in the HSC examination. The next will be the student's moderated assessment mark, which is tied to the student's rank in the course. And the third is the average of the two, which will be their final HSC mark, which is then used to determine their ATAR. Should students or parents have any questions regarding the ATAR or scaling processes, as mentioned in the slides or video, please contact me to discuss. At this point, I'd like to welcome Mr. Nusk, our Acting Year 12 Coordinator, who will cover important pastoral care information for you. Thank you.
When you began your journey back in January, it seemed like Year 12 was a distant horizon, but here we are preparing for the next and final stretch. Time has flown, and I can assure you that the next 12 months will feel just as swift as you move towards your HSC and the close of your high school experience. Tonight, you've heard about the immense collaboration that goes on behind the scenes to ensure every one of you is supported across the board. The Year 12 homeroom team will continue to be your son's first line of support for any challenges, be they academic, personal, or mental, that he may face in the coming year. Our goal is to help each of you navigate the ups and downs with confidence and assurance that someone is always in your corner. I want to take a moment to reflect on last week's retreat. This was an amazing experience, and it is my hope that you all made memories that will stick with you long after you leave St. Greg's. Those moments shared, the bonds formed, and the conversations had will likely be some of your lasting memories, ones that help define your Year 12 experience. A big focus on the pastoral care program for next year will be coping with the demands of the HSC. We're also excited to continue the revamped Big Brother program, now known as the Transition. As Year 12s, you'll have a greater role in mentoring the Year 7s. You have the chance to truly make a mark here, to leave a legacy by taking your role as Big Brothers seriously and guiding them through their own journey. It's a unique opportunity to share what you've learned, lend a listening ear, and set an example of kindness, respect, and inclusion. We will also allocate some time listening to the advice and stories of some of our Greg's old boys and looking into what your next year after Year 12 will look like, whether that is further study, work, or travel. I also want to acknowledge the energy and vision of our student leaders this year. They've come forward with fantastic ideas to improve the school environment and build a stronger community. I urge all of you to get behind them, supporting each other and standing together in your final year. It will make all the difference, not only for your group, but for the school as a whole. I will continue to encourage you to focus on getting the small but important things right. Punctuality, uniform, grooming, setting a positive example, and involvement. Make these standards part of your daily routine because your actions set the tone for others and show pride in both yourself and the school community. The last thing I want to touch on tonight is a few important dates for Year 12. Besides the big ones like HSC exams and graduation day, Year 12 have the opportunity to take part in many college events for the last time, such as Mother's Day Mass, Father's Day breakfast, lunch on the lawn, and Bring Anything But a Bag Day, to name a few. Additionally, I encourage everyone to attend the last carnival days to share house spirit and cheer on your peers. Also, to celebrate your final masses with faith and passion, which can be done by leading the way through song. We also encourage parents, family, and friends to come along and share in these moments with Year 12 to make them extra special occasions. Enjoy your last year together, gents, and make sure you continue taking care of one another, looking out for your mates, and making choices that keep everyone safe. Let's step forward with purpose, making the most of each moment and building a legacy that each of you will look back on with pride. Let's make this year one to remember. This evening, there has been a significant amount of information communicated. The overarching message is that Year 12 will be filled with new opportunities and the students have support right across the college. Thank you to our presenters this evening. Just some reminders to close our meeting tonight. Please look over the handbook and the HSC NESA procedures booklet, and thank you for attending and good night.